Okay. Alaikum. This is Pasha, the author of The Double Cross. Okay. Some of you are probably wondering why I have turned to directing you to spiritual guidance. It's because at some point, we all must realize that nothing good or bad happens without the Creator's consent. The Most High has power over all things. This entire world and everything that we see in it came from Him. We truly know this because the minute something goes wrong, we fall down and pray to Him. There's no mistaking, no question of who we need to reach. Our ability to see, smell, taste, and touch His creations in this world came directly from Him. Our brain and the abilities that give us the reason to think and plan, decide, and build all comes from Him. The fact that we were born, that our creation was passed down through our parents, and their existence from their parents, the creation of lineage, ancestry, is His. So why shouldn't we all be grateful and aware of what He has done for us, what He gives us? We should be extremely grateful. Now, with that gratefulness, we should want to learn more about what and who the Creator is and what His purpose is for us. Because we all come here with a purpose, a destiny. Do you know what yours is? He has promised, and He never lies. He has promised heaven and hell. So our question should be, is that true? And if so, then at some point, each one of us will have to decide which one of these destinations we want to live in forever. We will have to learn the things He requires of us that places us in one or the other, then act on it. Nothing and no one can save us except our own actions. And those actions must be in line with the laws laid down by He that created us. Not what Mama said, what Daddy said, or what Pastor so-and-so said, because all of them will have to stand before the Most High themselves. If they're misleading you, it's not going to prevent you from reaching the destination you have earned with your obedience or disobedience to the laws that the Most High has sent down to govern your behavior or our behavior. Follow the laws, live, and we have been promised eternal life in a very beautiful place. Disobey the Most High's laws and enter hell. Those are the two choices. And they should concern you. We roll around through our daily lives each day, and we rarely think about death. Though we see it or hear about someone dying every day. It's all around us. Just reflect for a moment on some of the people you knew as a young child that have died in many different ways. How you used to play and run around as young kids, your first crush as a young teenager, and at that moment, that very moment, you never thought that in a few years, so-and-so would be dead or dying from cancer, or so-and-so will be shot dead, or so-and-so will be beaten to death by her boyfriend, or so-and-so would die in a car crash. You never gave any thought to the life expectancy of your childhood friends, nor the death that awaited them at a certain time, day, and year in the shadows. It took both you and them by surprise. But the Most High knew. Now, let's look at death. We all have gone to funerals and seen the body of those whose souls have left the body. The body is frozen at that point. There is nothing left for it to do or say. At that point, whatever acts it has accumulated with his hands, his eyes, his feet, his thoughts, his mouth, penis, or vagina is done. The ability to follow the laws of the Most High or not is done, completed. Nothing can be added or taken away. At this point, his or her destination to one of the two places God has promised is already sealed. The body that was used in this world to earn one of those two places, with the departure of the soul, has already begun to crumble and disintegrate. That beautiful smile, those almond-shaped eyes, that curly hair, that dark or light skin tone that we squabbled over, which was the best, those pretty legs that moved so smoothly on the dance floor, and those that ran and jumped so high, will never do it again. There's no more riding around in the car or running into the grocery store and stopping at the gas station. You won't see them at the party, the club, or the park again. They will be buried under 6 feet of dirt, never to be seen again in that form in this life. We say goodbye, and we keep riding around, going to the mall, to the grocery store, the club, the party, actually having really learned nothing from seeing death up close until it's our turn. For some reason, somehow, we live in a state of denial about one day dying ourselves. But believe me, every one of us will get a turn to have our souls leave the body behind, used for testing and earning our place in one or the other locations the Most High has promised to place us in. After our journey, after the time allotted to us to earn our place has ended, we will all get our turn to lay inside a box on a platform for people to walk by and gaze at our form for the last time. Picture that for yourself. And if it happens suddenly today, what would be your destination? Heaven or hell? This is the purpose of divine commandments, to help in this. It's a favor and a mercy from the Most High. The few years that we spend here, hearing about the Most High, learning about the Most High, are not long at all. We all age. Change is clocked into the very nature of who we are, who we were made to be. We witness this change within ourselves, and we see it in others. So what makes you think that the Most High cannot change us again into another form, especially after we've witnessed seeing the prior form we all knew and loved tossed into a grave, discarded, and left to rot? The flesh that was so soft to the touch, the flesh that received so much care and lotion and caressing, the flesh that was so strong and muscled is now being eaten by worms. Now I ask you, who has the real power? Who should be feared? Now, if you said the Most High, period, you are correct. If you don't believe this, then save yourself from death. Save yourself from being changed. Save yourself from being placed in the grave, and save your body from disintegration. Better yet, save your soul from leaving your body behind. In the Holy Quran, the Most High says that the things of this world deceive us, deceive you, until you enter the grave. It's funny because we never think that we are being deceived. But this is the word that the Most High uses in the Holy Quran. He says the things of this world that He created deceive you until you enter the grave. We actually feel comfortable in the life we are living. going to work, picking the children up from school, watching the football game on Sundays, working Monday through Friday, but never actually thinking that dying will happen to us, at least not today. But you should know that today, as you are listening to this pod, millions of people got up to do their daily routines. And the angels of death were there to collect their souls in many different ways they did not expect. Many left home never to return. Many would die a violent death today that they never would have vision for themselves. Because there is one thing among many that the Most High has kept secret from us, and that is the day that we will die. It's already written. How, where, and when. Michael Jackson has been under the ground over a decade now. If you were to dig his coffin up and open it, you would see fragments of rotten clothes he was buried in, and his skull and bones, his teeth, and perhaps you'll remember his shy smile. If you collected his bones and laid them out on the table, then had college students in a biology class come in to examine those bones without informing them of who those bones were or used to be, they would never know how dynamic and soulful those bones once were. They would not know that those bones were a dancing machine. They wouldn't know that that jawbone and mouth was behind still legendary great songs today, like Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, and Never Can Say Goodbye. So you see, in the end, all we really have is how we live our lives to please the Most High. Everything else that takes place in this world, ultimately, is just bones. This is the double cross. Assalamu alaikum.